We are going to make a card today using just basic shapes in Cricut Design Space. So first I'm going to insert a shape of a square, and then we're going to unlock it because we want to make it a rectangle. And for this one, I want it to be 4¼ wide by 11 inches in length. And I'm going to make this one gray, but I'm actually going to use a patterned paper for this. So then I want to insert a score line on this. So I go back to shapes, insert a score line. I need to rotate that 90 degrees and make it the same as the width of the card, which was 4¼ Then I'm going to do a big window around the two and then go align and center them on top of each other. So now that score line is perfectly centered on that card base. While I have both of those selected, I'm going to click Attach. This will hold the positioning. So now when I hit Make It, you'll see it held it right there. Next, we're going to want a piece that's going to cover this, and that's going to hang off here so it does like this little tri-folded easily kind of thing. It's going to look really cool, trust me. So we need another shape, and that one is going to be unlocked, and it'll be 4 inches this way and then 10¼ this way. And this one will be white. So now on this one, I need to add 2 score lines because I needed to do the easel kind of fold. So I'll show you how I do that. I add a shape of a score line and I rotate that score line 90 degrees. And I make that 4 inches. Now, I'm going to align this to the bottom and then align this centered horizontally. So now that score line is right there at the bottom of the card. So now what I can do is when I click on that score line, I want it to be 2½ inches up from the bottom. So using my XY coordinates, I can subtract 2½ from this and then move it up. So when I click on this, I can see its Y position is 15.194. And since I want it to be up from the bottom 2½ inches, I grabbed my calculator and figured out what that dimension location would be. So I want to type in 12.694 in the Y location. And you can see it moved it straight up. Now I'm going to duplicate this score line because I have to put in another one. And I'm going to pull that over here. And then I'm going to attach this score line so I don't mess up that spacing because I already worked too hard to figure that one out. Okay, so now let's put this score line aligned to the bottom and then aligned so it's centered. Perfect. So now this score line needs to move up 2½ inches above this one. So that would be exactly 5. So now I can just subtract 5 from this, which is much easier math. So that's that. And now you can see it jumped up, but it's behind the card. So I'm going to want to use Arrange to send that to the front. And now I can take that and attach it. So now I have 2 score lines attached at 2 various heights. And that is going to sit right on top of that once we have it made. Okay, our next piece is going to be a shape. And let's make this blue. And it's also going to be a rectangle, so we want to unlock. That's going to be 375 by 2.25. And this piece is just going to sit right in here. And then we're going to, when we fold this, add a little embellishment. So now you can see when I click Make It, it's going to tell me that I'm first going to score on my patterned paper using gray for demonstration purposes. Then I'm going to do my white and I'm going to score that, cut the white, and I'll cut this little blue. For this card, I'm going to be using cardstock from Die Cuts with a View, the graduation stack, and the printed flowers. From the graduation stack, I'm using a patterned paper, but I also cut out one of these squares for an extra embellishment on my card. For my style of Cricut, I have to take out the blade and put in the scoring stylus. And now I load the paper. And now I just put the blade back in and it's ready to cut. Load that into our machine. And again, we're going to want to score first, so we have to put in the scoring stylus. If you have one of the newer machines, you probably have a dual setting on here, so you don't have to do this step with switching out the blade and the scoring stylus. And then it pauses, so I can put the blade back. Now this is just going to be a cut piece. And now we're ready to assemble our card. So to add an extra little bit of texture to this white piece, I'm just going to put it inside an embossing folder. And you can see the pattern in there. Then I'm going to sandwich that between two bead plates and put that in my Cuttlebug. And I personally like to roll it in and then back to get a really nice impression. Now when we open that, we have this nice texture. Now we're ready to put our card together. I'm going to take the base piece and find that crease line, and then as I fold that over, I can use my foam folder to make a nice crisp crease. I'm going to do the same thing with the white piece. I find them to get them started, and then use my foam folder to really make them nice and crisp. So this one's going to fold up, and then the little piece in the front folds down, so that when it's sitting on our card, it's going to sit like this. I'm going to add the blue to the front, and you'll see how quickly this all comes together. Because that's all textured now, I like to use a lot of tape just to make sure it really sticks. That does not look straight, so I'm just going to pull it up and adjust it. That looks better. So now the card will stand like this. And for an extra little embellishment, I'm just going to add that little owl right on the front. And now if I want to add a saying or congratulations up here, I can do that too. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and leave me comments if you have questions about this card. I'd love to see your variations of it. Also, make sure to subscribe.